Minsan nag-aaway ang dalawang barbero, ang nagsusubi. At pag nagpamagsaksakan.
Hello. Hello, Mike. Hello. Hello.
Philippine Bamboo Industry Development Council aims to converge different government agencies and the private sector for the development of the bamboo industry. Currently, it operates through EO 879 series of 2010. The industry has a myriad of potentials for the country's economy and the conservation of our natural resources. Thus, the PPIDC does its part to promote the use of bamboo, which contributes to climate change mitigation and sustainable development, encourage value-added production, and assist the LGUs promote environment protection and develop livelihood in the countryside. The organizational structure of the council is as follows. PTI Secretary Ramon Lopez serves as PBIDC Chair with Deputy Speaker Saveliano as Vice Chair. Key members include DNR, DA, DepEd, DOST, DOLE, League of Municipalities of the Philippines, 2 NGOs, and 2 private industry organizations. Leading the council are the Executive Committee led by DTI ROG Yusek Blasila Lantayoda, the TWG led by DTI National Bamboo Industry Cluster Coordinator Ardilion Mila Baluyot, and the growing number of regional, provincial, and even municipal bamboo councils with mirroring structures yet inclusive in nature. The council is also responsible in implementing the Philippine Bamboo Industry Development Roadmap, having a vision of a progressive, dynamic, productive, and globally competitive bamboo industry with a sustainable resource base. In order to meet the short, medium, and long terms of the bamboo industry roadmap, we have to focus on 8 key strategies which encompasses the entire bamboo value chain, from bamboo propagation to the marketing of bamboo products. These strategies are reflected in our recent council activities, which includes Council, EXCOM, and TWG meetings scheduled monthly or bi-monthly, one-on-one consultative dialogues on bamboo plans and programs with different government agencies and the private sector, support to bamboo legislation such as Senate bills, House resolutions, and other policies that benefit the bamboo industry, harmonization of the different bamboo inventory initiatives, site visits in bamboo plantations and processing sites, and the conduct of bamboo planting activities nationwide. We also help develop communities through bamboo initiatives such as bamboo planting and enterprise development at the Marikina watershed in partnership with mga anak ni Inang Daigdig, Rotary International, Inner Wheel Clubs of the Philippines, and other private organizations. DTI Shared Service Facilities, DTI Site Facilities which will soon serve as a council's home base, and trainings made possible with TESTA Bamboo Vocational Courses and our training service partners. As we celebrated World Bamboo Day, we are once reminded of the Kilusang 5K movement, meaning kawayan, kalikasan, kabuhayan, kaunlaran, kinabukasan. Annually celebrated on September 18, have the theme Alay ng Bayan sa Inang Kalikasan, Kawayan. This year, we held the kick-off event at the Sitio Carigo Bamboo Nursery, participated by DTI Rizal, DA Undersecretary Lavinia, Deputy Speaker Sabeliano, Rotary International Governor Ayento, Sakafa Farmers Association, and the Rodriguez LGU, leading the nationwide bamboo planting events, training workshops, consultative meetings, trade fairs, and expos done by the different regional bamboo councils. We also conducted a series of regional bamboo summits which converged into the Philippine Bamboo Summit and the recently conducted Bamboo Summit for the mining industry.
This year, we are currently conducting a discussion series called Usaping Kawayan in partnership with the Kilusang 5K Foundation, which discusses existing and priority issues at hand in our local bamboo industry and identify solutions on these issues.
Moving forward, we plan to recalibrate where we are in the industry through the update of the bamboo roadmap and the Zoom strategic workshop. We have still many activities lined up this year, up to the beyond the celebration of World Bamboo Day, including more partnerships with the government and private sector and a review on policies related to bamboo. From all these activities done in the time of COVID-19 pandemic, we did not stop from reaching out to the different bamboo stakeholders. We believe that no government agency or private sector can solve the problems of the industry, as it needs the concerted efforts of all sectors to do their own share for the development of the bamboo industry. We hope that we get a unified bamboo industry development program to do more for our natural resources and bounce back from the pandemic with the many livelihood opportunities from bamboo. That is all for now. Thank you. #Kawayan pa rin.
Moderator.
Philippine Bamboo Industry Development Council aims to converge different government agencies and the private sector for the development of the bamboo industry. Currently, it operates through EO 879 series of 2010. The industry has a myriad of potentials for the country's economy and the conservation of our natural resources. Thus, the PPIDC does its part to promote the use of bamboo, which contributes to climate change mitigation and sustainable development, encourage value-added production, and assist the LGUs promote environment protection and develop livelihood in the countryside. The organizational structure of the council is as follows. PTI Secretary Ramon Lopez serves as PBIDC Chair with Deputy Speaker Saveliano as Vice Chair. Key members include DNR, DA, DepEd, DOST, DOLE, League of Municipalities of the Philippines, 2 NGOs, and 2 private industry organizations. Leading the council are the executive committee led by DTI the TWG led by PTI National Bamboo Industry
Magandang umaga mga kaibigan.
Provincial and even municipal bamboo councils with mirroring structures with inclusive in nature. The council is
Hello. Okay. We'll be starting in about 10 minutes, no? But I'm advising you partake of the delicious pandesal and coffee at the back. Kasi pag sinimulan natin to, arangkada na to. Maganda mga discussion na natin. By the way, I'm your host together with my partner host, Atty. Dulce Punzalan. I'm Dulce Salacup. And this morning, mag-uusap po tayo, magkakapihan po tayo sa direksyon ng Philippine Agriculture. Alam naman po natin, we have a new president and of course, he is concurrent Secretary of the Department of Agriculture. At gusto po nating maipahatid sa ating kalihim kung ano ang mga critical challenges na hinaharap ng ating industriya. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the discussions for this morning. 5 minutes po. Take 5 tayo. Thank you.
Philippine Bamboo Industry Development Council aims to converge different government agencies and the private sector for the development of the bamboo industry. Currently, it operates through EO 879 series of 2010. The industry has a myriad of potentials for the country's economy and the conservation of our natural resources. Thus, the PPIDC does its part to promote the use of bamboo, which contributes to climate change mitigation and sustainable development, encourage value-added production, and assist the LGUs promote environment protection and develop livelihood in the countryside. The organizational structure of the council is as follows. PTI Secretary Ramon Lopez serves as PBIDC Chair with Deputy Speaker Saveliano as Vice Chair. Key members include DNR, DA, DepEd, DOST, DOLE, League of Municipalities of the Philippines, 2 NGOs, and 2 private industry organizations. Leading the council are the executive committee led by DTI ROGU Sec. Blasila Yantayona, the TWG led by PTI National Bamboo Industry Cluster Coordinator Ardilian Lila Baluwit, and the growing number of regional, provincial, and even municipal bamboo councils with mirroring structures yet inclusive in nature. The Council is also responsible in implementing the Philippine Bamboo Industry Development Roadmap,
Hello, good
having a
morning.
vision of a progressive, dynamic, productive, and globally competitive bamboo industry with a sustainable resource base. In order to meet the short, medium, and long terms of the bamboo industry roadmap, we have to focus on 8 key strategies which encompasses the entire bamboo value chain, from bamboo propagation to the marketing of bamboo products. These strategies are reflected in our recent council
Hello, mic
activities,
check.
which includes council, EXCOM, and
Hello, mic
PWD
check.
meetings scheduled monthly or bi-monthly, one-on-one consultative dialogues on bamboo plans and programs with different government agencies and the private sector, support to bamboo legislation such as Senate bills, House resolutions, and other policies that benefit the bamboo industry, harmonization of the different bamboo inventory initiatives, site visits in bamboo plantations and processing sites, and the conduct of bamboo planting activities nationwide. We also help develop communities through bamboo initiatives such as bamboo planting and enterprise development at the Marikina watershed in partnership with mga anak ni Inang Daigdig, Rotary International, Inner Wheel Clubs of the Philippines, and other private organizations. DTI shared service facilities, DTI site facilities which will soon serve as
Mic
a council's
test,
home
1,
base,
2.
trainings made possible with Testa Bamboo vocational courses and our training service partners. As we celebrated World Bamboo Day, we are once reminded of the Kilusang 5K movement, meaning kawayan, kalikasan, kabuhayan, kaunlaran, kinabukasan. Annually celebrated on September 18, have the team Alay ng Bayan sa Inang Kalikasan, Kawayan. This year, we held a kick-off event at the Sitio Carigo Bamboo Nursery, participated by DTI Rizal, DA Undersecretary Lavinia, Deputy Speaker Sabeliano, Rotary International Governor Ayento, sa CAFA Farmers Association, and the Rodriguez LGU, leading the nationwide bamboo planting events, training workshops, consultative meetings, trade fairs, and expos done by the different regional bamboo councils. We also conducted a series of regional bamboo summits which converged into the Philippine Bamboo Summit and the recently conducted Bamboo Summit for the mining industry.
This year, we are currently conducting a discussion series called Usapang Kawayan in partnership with the Kalasang 5K Foundation, which discusses existing and priority issues at hand in our local bamboo industry and identify solutions on these issues.
Moving forward, we plan to recalibrate where we are in the industry through the update of the Bamboo Roadmap and the Zoom Strategic Workshop. We have still many activities lined up this year, up to the beyond the celebration of World Bamboo Day, including more partnerships with the government and private sector and a review on policies related to bamboo. From all these activities done in the time of COVID-19 pandemic, we did not stop from reaching out to the different bamboo stakeholders. We believe that no government agency or private sector can solve the problems of the industry, as it needs the concerted efforts of all sectors to do their own share for the development of the bamboo industry. We hope that we get a unified bamboo industry development program to do more for our natural resources and bounce back from the pandemic with the many livelihood opportunities from bamboo. That is all for now. Thank you. Hashtag Kawayan pa rin.
Ito na. Simula na tayo. Interview mamaya.
Isang magandang agri na umaga sa lahat. Maayong aga sa inyo tanan. And welcome to the first session of PCAFIhan 2022. Now, to start the proceedings for today, I am your host, Dulce Punzalan, Attorney Dulce Punzalan, together with uh, Sir Doy Salacup for our event for today. So I would like to invite everyone to rise for the invocation. This is an original composition entitled Isang Panalangin, composed by Mary Rose del Rosario and Jennifer Santos Lim, and was arranged by yours truly, Atty. Dulce Punzalan, for the 1996 Alicapa Songwriting Competition. And this will be followed by the Himig Agham Kawayan of the DOST Forest Products Research Development Institute for the national anthem.
Nagpapaalala na ang Diyos ay pakinggan, maging tunay sa paglilingkod sa kapwa at bayan. Buhayin natin ang pagmamahalan, kay diliman ang ating landasin, wag bibitiw, wag lisanin, iyong alalahanin, pagsubok ay lilipas din, nasa ating kamay ang tunay na pag-asa, sa gabay ng Ama na lagi nating kasama. Isang panalangin, isang panalangin ko'y mamalas kaunlaran ng bayang Pilipinas at sa bawat Pilipino. Dalangin ay maging maliwanag ang bukas at panalig sa Diyos, sundin kanyang landas. Isang panalangin ko'y maging ganap, ang kapayapaan sa mundo. Nasa ating kamay ang tunay na pag-asa, biyayang taglay sa kapwa ay mag-aalay. Isang panalangin ko'y mamalas kaunlaran ng bayang Pilipinas at sa bawat Pilipino. Dalangin ay maging maliwanag ang bukas at panalig sa Diyos, sundin kanyang landas. Isang panalangin ko'y maging ganap, ang pagmamahal
Maraming salamat. Maari na po tayong umupo.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations, Dulce. Ang ganda ng prayer natin. At saka ano ba yun? Bamboo Group? Ganun nung national anthem natin?
Yes, the performers of
Okay.
the national anthem are scientists
Oh, really?
and musicians because the Department of Science and Technology, Forest Products Research Development Institute, together with the OSTP SHERD and the UP College of Music, developed the innovation program for bamboo music instruments. It's now institutionalized in our education
It's the
system.
first time I saw such a clip, and very inspiring. Congratulations to the bamboo movement. And I'm sure, you know, President Danilo Fausto is really looking into coming up with a bamboo group, active group in the PCAFI, you know, and the roadmap. And this is to be headed by Sec and Executive Director Butch Maderang, and of course, ably supported by Deputy Speaker D.V. Sabellano and his group. Okay, at this point, allow me to acknowledge the personalities in this morning's gathering. Siyempre, unahin ko na muna yung sa media side natin, okay? As I call your outfit, kindly rise to be recognized. We have the representatives from TV5. Thank you for joining us. We have representatives from SMNI News. Okay. Representative from CNN Philippines. Representative from the Philippine Daily Inquirer. All right, thank you. The Philippine Star representatives. Okay. And also from UNTV. Okay. Did I miss any group outfit? Jasper? Business Mirror. Okay, sir. Thank you and welcome to the gathering. So those are our partners from the media side. Allow me now to introduce to you the speakers and panelists and of course our distinguished guests and friends. Heading at the Presidential Secretary table, that's what I want to address it, is the President of the Philippine Chamber of Agriculture and Food Incorporated, Mr. Danilo Fausto. Our PCAFI external relations guy, the convener of Agrikultura, Alyansa Agrikultura, Mr. Ernie Ordonez. The President of the United Broiler Raisers Association, UBRA, Attorney Bong Inciong. The head of the Philippine Egg Board, Mr. Gregorio San Diego. And the PCAFI Director, Sector Head for Hogs, the godfather of one of the biggest hog groups in the Philippines, Mr. Edwin Chen. Okay. Aside from personalities at the presidential table, we have distinguished members and personalities in agribusiness. Number one would be Congressman D.V. Sabellano and Butch Maderang of the Bamboo Group. Okay. We also have the President of the Philippine Association of Feed Millers Incorporated, Mr. Edwin Mapanao. We have representatives from the Food Processors and Exporters Group. We have Mr. Tom Medina, Mr. Philip Yang, and Delia is here. Thank you for being and gracing our activity this morning. Online, we have two participants, as I can see. Dr. Flor Tesoro of the Bamboo Movement also. Mr. Roger Navarro, a member of the Philippine Chamber of Agriculture and Food, representing the corn sector. Roger Navarro, straight from Cagayan de Oro, if I'm not mistaken. And then the president of the PhilFoodEx, Philippine Food Exporters Group, Mr. Ruben C., is with us online. We have also a former employee of the Department of Agriculture. He previously headed the Livestock Development Council, and we welcome him to this gathering. Mr. Manuel Harmin. Okay? And later on, as the personalities come in, I will duly recognize them. Okay, so Attorney Dulce, I think we can now begin with the PCAFIhan proper. Sabi ko nga sa inyo earlier, it's gonna be an interaction. Todo arangkada to sa ating first undertaking under the PCAFIhan activity. So, to give us an overview and to hear his message, please welcome the Philippine Chamber of Agriculture and Food Incorporated President, Mr. Danilo V. Fausto.
Thank you. Should stand up to give respect to our distinguished media people. I'd like to thank you. This is a PCAFIhan. It's a media event, and this is the maiden episode. We intend to do this every first Friday of the month in the same venue, so that we can interact. Today, the maiden episode, we will be graced by our distinguished members of the chamber and presidents of each and every federations and cooperatives. The Philippine Chamber of Agriculture is composed of 48 agricultural sectors, and the membership of the chamber composed, as I said, of federations, cooperatives, and commodity champions. The purpose of the chamber is to provide a platform where we, the public sector, can interact with the government and how we can work together and be able to help our country produce food for our people. And as we are going to proceed in the succeeding episodes, we will be inviting cabinet secretaries and personalities that involved in certain issues that need to be addressed immediately. This session, this episode now, we feel is very, very urgent because as you see, food production involves lives. It involves growing of crops, taking care of chicken and hogs and fish. And all of these are now challenged because of this is a problem that is engaged and a problem being experienced around the world because of what is going on. And everybody knows about it. You have the climate change, the pandemic, and of course, the Russia-Ukraine war that affected supply chain and the availability of raw materials. Because of that, the different countries, most of them are clamping down. They're protecting their own and preventing the export of their own products to make sure that they have products available for their own people. Thus, if we are to import our needed shortage of certain products where we need to import, we might have some difficulty of importing because these countries are preventing and the exportation of their own products. So because of this, it is necessary that we do not only ask government to act, but also the private sector to really act together and help the new administration to be able to achieve food sufficiency or food sovereignty, whatever may you call it, as long as we have food on the table for every Filipino. So what are the basic, may I discuss what are the basic issues that we are confronted with? There are three major issues that I think is involved in this aspect. Number one is the treasury is empty. As reported by Secretary Abisado before, as of April, 85% of our budget for 2022 has already been obligated or spent. If we are to include May or June, then we can assume that the treasury is empty. Now, here we come the next administration come July, we are asking him for some accomplishments and performance. How can he do that if he has no money? So we have some suggestions to the President on how we can immediately mobilize resources. Okay? Of course, everybody is singing the same tune. Let's increase the budget of the Department of Agriculture. But that is for 2023. Okay? But that is next year. And when will the money comes? March, April? Ano? Patay na yung kabayo pagdating ng damo. No? So we need to act now. So we have proposed that we securitize future allocation of different agencies so that we can immediately use them now. You know, in Nueva Ecija, where I belong, I plant rice. We are already applying fertilizer. Nagsasabog na kami ng pataba. And we are afraid that some of us, some of our farmers might be holding on or cutting down on fertilizer application because this is very expensive and the fertilizer now has increased by 300%. And when that happens, the yield of price will go down, which will happen on September, October. So therefore, we need to mobilize additional resources so that those that are supposed to be given seeds, fertilizers, machineries, should be given now, not tomorrow. So it have to be done. And the President will have to do it immediately. That's what we suggested and recommended to him. Now, another is the problem. It's not really a problem for the local government. It's a bonanza for them, wherein you have the Mandanas-Garcia ruling, where more than 27% of their ERA has been added to, which is about 235 billion. This 235 billion is now, to this year, will be downloaded to them, and the President or the national government has no authority to take and mingle with that fund. So it might be necessary, I'm not saying it is, but for the President to declare a state of emergency or calamity for food sufficiency. And in that basis, perhaps they can be reviewed by the legal department of Malacanang and Office of the President, if it's possible, so that the President can encourage and direct the local government units to direct some of those funds for agricultural production, not in building Capitolio or buildings na, you know what. So the agricultural sector has to be assisted within their area of responsibility. It will not be taken out of their area, but the direction, the direction of the funds from the LGU should go to food production. It might go to value chain or processing or supply chain, and also inputs. So that can be done. And also we are asking the President to review the operation of the Philippine Guarantee Corporation. The Philippine Guarantee Corporation, as of the COA report of 2020, they have already an outstanding guarantee of 207 billion granted. Now, the problem is, out of this 207 billion, more than 203 billion was guaranteed for real estate, benefiting big developers who do not need this guarantee in the first place. And agriculture only has 500 million in outstanding guarantee. Why do we need the guarantee? Because the farmers, the producers cannot, or the agribusiness group cannot go to the bank without collateral. But with the guarantee for the Philippine Guarantee Corporation, perhaps the bank will be able to lend them and not consider agriculture as a risky business. And the Philippine Guarantee Corporation already have collected penalties from the banks who do not comply the Agri-Agra law. And this money is now with the Philippine Guarantee Corporation, which we think should be given back to the farmer producers so that they can get access to credit. That can be done even tomorrow. That's easy. And we have a marching order dapat sa Philippine Guarantee Corporation so that the private sector can get access to capital and credit. It's about, right now, I would estimate that about 1 trillion pesos is available for lending for agri-agra. And we can mobilize this. So that's one of the items that we would like to propose for mobilization of funds. Of course, you have the RCEP, you have the Coco Levy funds that is supposed to be done immediately. It is started 2 years ago, the Coco Levy fund, in order to produce more food. In between intercropping of 8 to 10 meters of trees, you can do production of fruits and other vegetables or other products. So that's the one major item that is confronting us. The treasury is empty. Now, the second major problem is productivity. Productivity, because of the several factors that went into it, especially our appetite for imports, which is most of them are cheap, subsidized imports that competes with our local producers. This definitely will discourage producers and businessmen to go and expand their production and their business because it is competing with a highly subsidized products from other countries. Now that we have cut down on production, and this will be discussed to you by some of our colleagues based on their own sectors, I wish they expand on this. Because of that aspect of competition, they do not no longer become viable because business, as I said always, has to be a good, profitable business proposition, not a charity. Agriculture should not be treated as a charitable sector. Pag hindi natin pinakita at the businessmen and producers are not profitable, why will they invest? So we need to encourage investment because more than 95% of the agricultural output is coming from the private sector. So we have communicated this with the President, and I hope that this action can be taken immediately, encouraging the private sector and giving them incentives so that they can invest more and produce more food for us. On production further is the problem of sufficiency in rice, which is a staple. Right now, in 2021, we have 19.9 million metric tons produced in rice based on the PSA data. And 75% of this produce is coming from irrigated lands. We have proposed and we are trying to propose to the President that try to do triple cropping. Right now, we have dual cropping. We are proposing to the President, why don't we do triple cropping? If 75% of the palay production is coming from irrigated lands, then we can estimate that 15 million metric tons is produced by irrigated lands. Two croppings, that means 7.5 million metric tons per cropping. That's a rough estimate in terms of averaging. If we have 19.9 million metric tons and we have additional cropping, then we will have 27 million metric tons. If ever we will have 100% triple cropping for irrigated lands. At the moment or at the beginning, we not be able to achieve. But there is something as let's start something and let's innovate. It's being done in Vietnam and Thailand, triple cropping. Why cannot it be done in the Philippines? The problem is timing. The planting of rice is only 90 days. The reason why it becomes 105 to 115 days for the rice is because there is the seedling, yung punla. We propose to the President, let's punla, remove punla from the rice paddies. Do it off-site so that planting will be on a 90-day basis, 3 croppings, that is 270 days. For each cropping, you can rest the land for 1 month and we will have triple cropping. And we can have seedlings done outside or off-site of the paddies. And we can, the more, in addition to that, We do not have to give binhe or seeds, high variety seeds. We have to give punla, seedlings. Kasi yung seeds minsan nawawala. Medyo nasa salibadyo. But yung punla, hindi nila pwedeng nakawin yung punla. Gugulang yung punla, kailangan itanim nila. Bigay natin ng punla so that we are sure that yung punlang ginamit are high value crops, high variety seeds. The 19.9 million metric ton was based on a 4.5 ton harvest per hectare. That is using our current seeds. But there are seeds that can produce 8 to 10 tons. That's why we're rooting a Masagana 150 to Masagana 200, meaning 200 kabans is 10 tons. Last April, I harvested my palay and I got 9.5 tons. Why will I stick to 4.5 tons if I can do 9.5 tons? Then, if we have the triple cropping and we have more yield in a hectare, what will be the result? It's no-brainer. We can export rice. We are amassed with rice because prices is a function of supply and demand. If we increase the supply and hope to teach the Filipinos to reduce the demand, yeah, hello, yeah. Thank you. As I was saying, we have problem on corn. If we solve the problem of corn, then we solve the problem of poultry and livestock. That is according to ang dami nating mic, lahat di gumagana. Tek. Ashim, okay. Now, I was given 20 minutes, so I'm timing myself. And then we will give everyone 5 minutes to speak. So sinasummarize, ang corn kailangan natin tulungan. Aani na ang corn by August, September. Yan ang ani ng corn. At pag-ani nila, it's rainy season. Basa yung corn. They need immediately dryers para ma-preserve nila for the next 7 months the supply of corn that will be harvested this coming August and September will have to be protected para may corn tayo. And also, let's give them a chance to make money. But now, medyo mataas ang presyo ng corn, kumikita mga corn farmers, but we need to have a floor price. And I have already spoken to the Philippine Association of Feed Millers. They're willing to commit to buy with a certain, what you call this, mutually agreeable price benchmark, floor price. Masisiguro ngayon ng mga corn farmers na may bibili ng kanilang corn. Nandito ang kaibigan natin. I'd like to acknowledge him again, my good friend Ed Mapanaw, the President of the Feed Millers Association of the Philippines, PAPMI. Sabi nila, call! We will buy all the corn because they need the corn. We need to expand the corn. One major issue that we are looking at for production is we are losing 40,750 hectares a year, average, of agricultural land. This is a PSA data for the past 3 years. In average yan, 40,750 hectares. And by the time of the ending of the 6-year term of the President, he will be losing 250,000 hectares of agricultural land. If we will estimate or assume that all of this land are rice land, then we are talking about 2.5 to 3 million metric tons of palay lost because of the loss of agricultural land. We need to have a moratorium of land conversion. Mauubos po ang lupa natin and appeal to the developers. I'd like to acknowledge former Governor Rod Valencia of Occidental Mindoro, a developer. Hey, we are asking them to go vertical. Huwag na kayong mag-horizontal. Mauubos ang lupa natin. God don't make land anymore. We need to make sure that we have the land. If you do not have the land, there's nowhere we can plant crops and grow our livestock. So that's the note. So what's the third? Private sector participation. We are proposing the establishment of mini agro-industrial centers in 10% of the total barangay. We have 42,000 barangays. We can start with 4,000 barangays. For rice area in Central Luzon, Western Visayas, Ilocos, and Cagayan. These are major producers of rice. We can put up mini agro-industrial centers for rice, which will have dryers and mobile dryers. We have milling, rice mill. We can have warehousing. And of course, we have the farm equipments and machineries, which is given under the PILMEC RLTL, the RCEP funds. So the mini agro-industrial center for corn, we can put up these corn centers, mini agro-industrial centers for Northern Mindanao, for Socsargen, in Muslim Mindanao, and also in Cagayan. For fishing village, we can also have mini agro-industrial centers where you will have blast freezers, storage facilities, ice plant, vacuum packing, and smoke oven machines. The budget of this is not much. We have computed it, and there are available machineries that we can do all of this with 2 million. We are asking the President to allot 3 to 5 million per mini agro-industrial centers. And that will be for 4,020 billion. We are asking for 12 billion to 20 billion. That's easy. But that will provide market for our farmers, packaging for our goods, and make sure that the value chain and supply chain is ready. Because all mini agro-industrial centers will be provided with refrigerated trucks to deliver the goods in sync with the processors, wholesalers, and retailers. So that will solve the problem of the farmers having a market for their products. For palay, if you are producing palay, you can have it milled. The mini agro-industrial centers will be owned by the cooperatives and associations. Although we will require and we will need an army of agricultural technicians, like the Masagana 99, you have 5 or 6 technicians for every municipality or 1 technician for every 10 barangays. We are proposing that not in the provincial level, but go to the barangay level or municipal level so that we can have assistance and advice being given by the agricultural technicians down to the people in order to implement the innovative, technological advance producing crops and livestock. The key here is the mini agro-industrial centers, because that will also provide supply for the raw materials they need, the seeds they need, and the market, input and output. And these centers will have to be connected technologically to the market, to the retail. Of course, there are people that will be affected, like the middlemen, and perhaps some of the processors, but they can work with these mini agro-industrial centers as managers or as joint venture partners, because the farmers needs managerial expertise and business acumen for governance and financial literacy. So we can work this out together, and let's have a paradigm shift of what we're doing locally to produce food. We have proposed all of this to the President. And I hope, I'm sure that he's awash with caboodle of problems. This will be set aside, but we need to impart to him on and over again these possible solutions, because everybody and every one of us is telling everyone what to do. Ang problema, papaano? We are telling you now a way how it can be done. How we can increase output for rice, how we can increase output for corn, for fish. The problem of the fish is fingerlings. We are importing 70% of our fingerlings from abroad. Bangus fries, tilapia fries, vanime, and even mud crab. We are importing all of these fingerlings. Let's produce these fingerlings locally. We are proposing that this be done principally at the areas of Ilocos region. And we can tap a little lang, para walang masyadong sensitibo, the excise tax on tobacco. Konti lang, kumurot lang tayong konti. And let fingerlings be produced on the backyard, like what they're doing in Vietnam and Thailand. They're producing fingerlings on the backyard. Let's also enhance and produce and develop further our inland bodies of water. Let's rehabilitate our Laguna de Bay and all other inland bodies of water. We have 500,000 hectares of bodies of water, of rivers, lakes, and swamps. Let's produce fish, because people that cannot consume and that cannot buy pork are shifting to fish. They're shifting to eggs. They're shifting to chicken. But you see, there are news that in Baguio, one of the major chain, out of 9 branches, and you know them, 6 branches do not have chicken. And the chicken is what they're selling. You're talking about Inasal, that there's no chicken? Chicken Inasal, there's no chicken? Chicken Joy, there's no chicken? How can you imagine that? It's because of the problem being countered by the United Broiler Races Association group. Problema nila sa chicken. There's all of this, and how it will be done. They will tell you how it will be done. It is not only a motherhood statement that this is the problem. What we are trying to propose here in this forum is not only to the government, but to the private sector. Because let's help the government. Wag lang tayo kay Presidente. Tulungan natin ang ating Presidente. We have to help the President, because for the love of country and our people, let's help our government. We cannot only say that it's the fault of the government. Let's look at ourselves. When you point your finger to them, 3 fingers are pointing at yourself. Bawasan natin ang kain ng kanin. Kumain tayo man ng gulay, 30 days lang ang gulay. Samahan natin ang kanin ng mais, yung mixture. Maraming bagay. Subukan natin kumain ng sweet potato. Hindi na ngayon masama ang mga mote. Sa eskwela, yun nangangamote. Masama. Mahal na kamote ngayon at napakagandang solusyon sa diabetes ang kamote. Kasaba. Kaya lang yung kasaba, medyo 1 taon yan. Pero there are things that can be started now. If we do not start it now, we will not be able to see the finish line. Let's start now. And we are asking media to help us disseminate this information and be able to reach the government and the private sector, that we work together as a group. For example, ang reklamo ng iba, RLTR, RCEP, nagbibigay ng binhe doon sa isang grupo, yung makina sa ibang grupo. Pwede ba sa isang grupo lang para sama-sama, para iba yung ginagawa ng kaliwang kamay doon sa kanang kamay. We need to also to consolidate lands, 30 to 50 hectares. Magtayo tayo ng asosasyon. We are asking, and cooperatives, we are asking government, the president, to create a Bureau of Agricultural Cooperative inside DA so that we can have establish clustering and cooperatives. Because we cannot talk to people that there's no personality. Kailangan registered siya. Kailangan registered ka, may resibo, may ano. Ang problema nga, sinabi ko nga noon, pag tinutulungan mo ang farmer, pag ikaw ay agribusiness guy, pag tinulungan mo ang farmer, you are penalized. Because when you sell your product at the supermarket, may tax. Wala ka namang expense dahil yung nag-deliver sa iyo ng raw material, mga farmers walang resibo. So wala kang expense. Hahanapan ka ngayon ng BIR. May revenue ka. Asan ang expense? Wala tayong resibo. Dahil yung mga farmers walang resibo. Let's organize them and register them and teach them proper governance. There's so many other things, and I have submitted to you some of the, in bullet point, some of the implementation strategy for food sufficiency. We have discussed this with the President and more. We can discuss details of this. We will open an hour of open forum. We can, there are here people not only in the presidential table, but in our audience who can answer your questions. This is the best time to do it. And we will do it every Friday, first Friday of the month. This is an interaction. Let's help together. Let's help the government. Let's help ourselves to make sure that our people have food on the table. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, President Danny. So yun po, we were given a snapshot of what this PCAFIhan is all about. The challenges that Philippine agriculture is facing. I quote the President, kabudel, parang nahirapan akong isang damakmak na problema ang Philippine agriculture today. So thank you, Mr. President. And the rest of the panelists will share their respective sectors' concerns. No? We will give them the chance for that. Just to acknowledge some of the other personalities that have arrived. Ms. Velia Cruz of the Food Processors Exporters Association. Our good friend, Governor Rod Valencia, as mentioned by President Danny. He's an agribusinessman, very famous ang Mindoro for calamansi, banana saba, coconut, and rice. And of course, former Governor Valencia is also involved in logistics, no? Sabi nga ni President Bongbong Marcos, kailangan yung value chain kumpleto, yung supply chain kumpleto. Si Gov Valencia, he's also noted for logistics and transport. You will have to play a big role on that, sir, no? And of course, online, we have our director from PCAFI, our acting treasurer. He's involved in the organic movement of our country. Please welcome online Mr. Pablito Villegas, straight from Malvar, Batangas. Okay? So,
Thank you.
Dulce?
Thank you, Joy.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Pabs Villegas.
Isang masigabong palakpakan uli para sa ating PCAFI President, Danilo Fausto. Muli, maraming salamat din po kay former DA, of course, Yusek, ang aking katandem ngayong umagang ito. At hindi ko siya laging tawagin Kuya Doy. Si Kuya Doy. Ako po si Ate Dulce. Para mas less informal, kapihan tayo eh. So bago ko po i-introduce ang ating esteemed speaker na susunod, ako po si Dulce Punzalan. I'm the World Bamboo Ambassador to the United Nations since 2015. So I was a private sector delegate for COP21 on-site, Trade and Industry with the International Chamber of Commerce Connecting Business Initiative. And then I attended virtually the COP26 in Glasgow. So ito pong discussion natin ay parte ng isa pang mas malaking larawan, which is the Philippine Nationally Determined Contributions na isinumiti po natin April of 2021 in the United Nations. And the Philippines is also at the forefront dahil ang ating bansa ang isa sa pinaka-climate vulnerable sa mga bansa sa buong mundo. Habang nag-uusap po tayo dito, nagkakaroon na po ng diskusyon kung paano ang financing. Kasi kanina binanggit ni President Danny, no, yung 5 inputs importante. So aside that, it's not just food security. We have to go beyond it. It's the agribusiness environmental system. So it involves the inputs, the primary, the secondary processing. You have the harvest, the post-harvest, and importante, teknolohiya na locally made machinery. Kasi ang nagiging problema po natin, mas marami yung ini-import para mabigyan din natin ng green jobs at green investment. So may good news po, bago ko introduce na si Ka Ernie, meron na po tayong tinatawag na Philippine Sustainable Finance Roadmap. So ito ngayon ang makakatulong sa atin paano mag-i-intersect ang private sector, ang ating iba-ibang agricultural and fisheries groups, at pati po ang ating kabataan, ang ating mga katutubo, ang mga kababaihan. So ito po yung siguro sa mga susunod na talakayan pag-usapan natin. So ang atin pong susunod na makipapanayam ngayong umaga ay tinatawag nating si Ka Ernie Ordonez. Tawag ko po sa kanya Tito Ernie. Estudyante ako noon na nagkakilala tayo. So he was one of my mentors. Ka Ernie Ordonez is the chairman of Alyansa Agrikultura. Concurrently, he is the president of the Management Association of the Philippines Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation. Ka Ernie is also a former undersecretary of both the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Trade. And he also served as a former vice president for Asia of the UNCTAD. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ernesto Ka Ernie Ordonez.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ako po hindi sinali ni Doy Salacup sa introduction. Kasi sabi niya, mag-uusap dito, mga sektor ng PICAF. Ako pa, wala ako dun eh. Totoo na vice president ako, inubod lang ako. Pero ngayon po, I'm talking not as PICAF. I'm talking as chair of Alyansa Agrikultura. Alyansa Agrikultura and PCAFI and Coalition for Agricultural Modernization, we are the three key coalitions in something they call Agri-Fisheries Alliance. So we wrote President Bongbong and we said, we have to talk to you. Yesterday, we talked to him. Just Senor, my president, he was the star of yesterday's meeting. Just him and me. Emil could not come. Him and me. And then President Bongbong and his top person, si Anton Lagdamayo. Okay, just four of us. And we met at the important room. You forgot to say I was secretary. I was secretary in my office in Malacanang. That is the most important room. And there are many rooms, but we were in that room. Kaming dalawa lang at the two. And what did we do? We presented, I said, Mr. Bongbong, whom I knew when I was a kid, he's an honor student, kilala ko yan. I told him, we are three. But today, it is Mr. Danilo Fausto who will give the main message. All right? And the two of them listen. All right? So, what am I saying? On December 6th, we led a multimedia interview with 249,000 Facebook views. In my column tomorrow, weekly column, which I've been doing for 19 years on agriculture, you'll find that 249,000 people witnessed President Bongbong commit to our program, devised by Senor President, myself, all right, Johnny Matura, etc., right? Now, pero kung yun, tawag namin 12 commandments. But in reality, what is that? Parang round words. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Yeah, what do you mean by adultery? Diba? Like, are you pregnant or not? You know what I mean? And therefore, operationally, ginawa niya yun. And my Alyansa Agrikultura, just to let you know, who are we? We're not an NGO. Hindi kami NGO. Galit kami. We're PO. Our people are the heads of the industries. Bong Inciong, Executive Vice President, head of poultry. Di ba? Roger Navarro, head of corn. We don't have corn. We do the corn. Nonon Tabago succeeded the great Edwin Chen, head of poultry. Di ba? Pork, head of pork. And in Luzon, we have the biggest organization, okay, who marched from Bukidnon, mga masa katulad mo, kasama. And what did we tell Bongbong there? We said, we believe, we the farmers, kasi farmer ang tayo ko doon. I have my own farm. We support the agribusiness. They're not for money, they're for providing a better future. Ngayon, sinasabi ko lang ito, ano gusto namin sa ginawa niya? Lahat. Ngunit dalawa sasabihin ko. Unang-una, ang pinakamaganda, we are against this import liberalization, import. We are for production. But production, not only by the multinationals, everybody like you in Mindoro, go to Manila. No, at the real area. It's called the mini agro-industrial center. Si Bongbong at si Anton Lagdameo, my God, na gusto nila yan. And yun, magkano yan, partner? Alam mo kasi ako, makulit ako, parang babae. I am proud to be like a woman because they're very thorough. I want to be a woman, actually. Okay? But I'm just telling you this, no? I even saw the machines. How much is the corn machine? Less than 5 billion. For 20 billion, you do that. And Rod, in your province, what will happen, you have actually about 50 per province, a 2 per municipality average, and it will spread. They like that, right? Okay? So I like to say that what this is, okay, instead of in every key barangay, right? You have everything. You have the purchasing, processing, marketing, etc. Ang ganda. As you know, I'm more industry than agriculture, right? But I'm just saying that this is revolutionary, fantastic. We the farmers, we hate importing. And we will process, we don't bring it all to Manila. All the middlemen get all the profit right there. Ginawa. That is totally brilliant, PCAFI. I say PCAFI, not him, kasi PCAFI to. I got it from you, right? I told that to Senator Bongbong. While we like this guy, sabi ko, shut up, Ernie. Sabi ko, this is really one of the best I've ever seen. Shut up. PCAFI, okay? Okay, I'm just saying that, no? Okay? Na PCAFI is yun, in yun. The second thing we want is private sector participation, which, as you know, we were not only not encouraged, we were shut up. They abolished. They abolished the international trade, public-private sector. My president is Pepe Tanchuri. He's my president, okay? Okay, 2 things lang, nandun sa kanya. Anti-smuggling, it never succeeded. As a matter of fact, some secretaries told me you cannot measure smuggling. Of course you can. You get the import, the report, get what you import, the business smuggling. We reduced it, public-private sector, because the customs, okay, customs can no longer be like Mona Lisa. They complain. They lie there. They die. Hindi. They report every month to this committee. Kasali kami doon. All right? Report to the president. Takot. It went down by 25%. Then they abolished it because we were successful. We resurrected it. It went down by 31%. They abolished it again. So sabi ni Senor Fausto in this press that he gave the president was reading each page. Nagito, oh, tinitignan niya. Hindi na ganyan-ganyan. I think President Duterte is a little different style. Tinignan pa. Nandyan, public right, yung gusto rin namin yan. So, to private sector, we want that. Also, in the budget, there's 22 billion. Are we clear? Hindi million. Hindi yan. 22 billion pesos unliquidated expenses. What do you think that is? But you know, under my president, Mr. Chuling, had a public-private sector budget, and we'd go to the provinces with DA and we inspect. Wherever, and they didn't have the record. We give it to them, where we inspect, huli sila. So you know what? Nawala yung kuwan. Masyadong maraming unliquidated expenses. Inabolish rin yun. Inabolish. But Mr. Fausto says in this letter give the president, private sector, that means you. Now we're also private sector, farmers, di ba? Also academe. But you are the guys who buy from the farmers, process it and sell, and you send to academe. You are the key. You are the anchor of all of us, right? So, in summary, number 1, I am not here as PCAF. I am not as rich as Danny, di ba? I am Alyansa Agrikultura. And our people are not NGOs, they're POs. Inciong, Navarro, di ba? Edwin Chen, umalis na. And second and last point is that we want public-private sector in smuggling, fighting, and in budget monitoring. And I'd like to say this, we believe in you and your program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ka Ernie. From auditing to challenges to possible solutions, those are nice directions. Okay, Attorney Dulce, Ate Dulce. Sige, introduce ko tong next speaker natin. If you ask him to remove his face mask, makikita nyo clean-shaven siya. But if you saw him 2 weeks ago, before the July 1 date, may pangako siya sa amin. Hanggang nandyan yung kalihim na yan sa Department of Agriculture, hindi ako magpapaahit. Nakaalis na. July 8 na tayo ngayon eh. So clean-shaven na siya ngayon. Ladies and gentlemen, our next panelist, the head of the biggest chicken producers organization, the president of the United Broiler Raisers Association. Please welcome Attorney Elias Bong Inciong.
I would suppose I need to talk about whether you will have Chicken Joy and McDo Chicken. Though I've been talking about this thing about for the last 2 or 3 days already. But to clarify, and I was informed earlier by our chairman, Gregorio San Diego, there's still some confusion out there. Let us clarify. Is there a shortage? Let us put it this way. Our standard in the industry is that shortage means we define it based on our experience in 2003. In 2003, no chicken in the groceries, no chicken in the fast food and restaurants, and problematic supply in the wet markets. That to us as an industry, based on that narrow standard, there is no shortage. However, if you compare to 2022 to 2003, in 2003, there was no ASF, there was no COVID, there were no disruptions in the supply chain, no Ukraine war, and no Secretary Dar. So that is a critical difference. Based on a higher standard, meaning overall food supply, then you can say, just to play it safe so that no one will be complacent, especially government, we might as well say we are in a very challenging situation, if not a shortage, in the next 2 quarters if we do not get together and address this thing. I can easily say there is no shortage based on 2003 standards. But that is dangerous and it will put our organization, UBRA, in a very awkward situation. I would rather be wrong and events will say that there is enough supply. I would rather be wrong than be flamboyant in claiming that there is no shortage, there is no problem. It is merely a problem of the quality of feeds or a problem in the sizes, in the performance of the chicken, of the farms. We better play it safe. We are playing it safe as an organization, but more importantly, we are appealing to the government to play it safe as leaders of the country. But however, let me state a concern. Although the President is now the Secretary of Agriculture and he met with the people in the Department of Agriculture last Thursday, he was talking to people appointed during the time of Secretary Dar. And I am not saying these people are evil, but these people are in love with the idea of import liberalization. Who are these people? Undersecretary Sebastian. I do not know if Undersecretary Adriano is still there. Perhaps the media will know. If he is still there, we have a problem. If he is still there, if he is no longer there, we still have a problem because Undersecretary Bichera is still there. I am not saying they will deliberately damage the situation or cause problems. I am saying when you are in love with a particular doctrine, then you will be blind to a lot of problems because all things will look beautiful to you precisely because you are in love. And that is why we are in this very deep hole. We have problems with our food supply because these people, they love the idea of import liberalization, the doctrine for the last 27 years that consumers will benefit and it will force producers to be competitive. However, they are clinging to certain false narratives that need to be corrected. What are these false narratives? Number one, that the industry is protected from imports. This is very wrong. For the last 27 years, we have had an increase in regular imports as committed with the WTO. There are 4 pillars to the WTO. Number 1, market access, at least in agriculture. Number 2, domestic support. Number 3, trade remedies. And number 4, quarantine or SPS. Unfortunately for this country, our economies only really became serious about market access, about import liberalization. The sector, the agri-fisheries sector, never received the kind of domestic support that other countries or the agri-stakeholders of other countries receive. And the only thing we receive from, for example, Undersecretary Sebastian, in a hearing before Congressman Joey Sebastian, he said the problem of stakeholders in agriculture, we are protectionists. And the evidence would show that the contrary. We have never been protected, we have never been supported. Those who are still in the sector now are surviving on our own, not because of the government. And not because of NEDA, not because of DOF, and not because of other economies. So, no domestic support. The trade remedies, under the Agri-Fisheries Modernization Act, there should be a plan. There is no plan. The plan should be based on consultations. And you can ask all of the former stakeholders. There were never serious consultations, especially during the time of Secretary Dar. There are no plans to update. And how can you update plans when you did not implement sections 38 to 45 of AFMA on the need for a national information network, data and information? How can you update your plans? How can you support your trade remedies? Your trade remedies require data. You cannot expect farmers to look for data and argue. In other countries, even China, the big countries, and the United States, it is their agricultural departments who on their own will study and prepare for the need for trade remedies. Dito aasahan yung farmer ang gagawa. And the most damning evidence of neglect of the sector would be in quarantine. Up to today, we do not have a genuine quarantine system. That's why diseases like ASF, bird flu, yung disease ng corn sector, yung armyworms, they're here. Why? For some reason, the government never financed an inspection area at the customs border. The standard worldwide is that before you pay your tariffs, you go through quarantine. You must pass quarantine. We do not have that. Now, the other secretaries, the former incarnations of the Department of Agriculture, they have an excuse because for some reason, their colleagues in the cabinet refused to provide them with money to build these inspection areas. However, Secretary Dar does not have an excuse because in December 2019, President Duterte, precisely in reaction to the ASF, gave him money to build an inspection area. Unfortunately, his term has ended. I've already shaved my whatever mustache and beard I have, and still we do not have an inspection area. What happened to the money? Where is the money? So that is a demonstration of grave mistakes in priorities and the best evidence of the neglect of the sector. So a change in mindset. I wish to recognize the inaugural pronouncements of the President. That is a major change in direction. An emphasis on production rather than importation. Because, Undersecretary Adriano, Bichera, and Sebastian, apparently they believe you can anchor food security on importation. Because they kept on saying, look at Singapore. Singapore is 90% dependent on food imports, and yet it is food secure. Setting aside the reality that Singapore is how many? 5 million people? And Singapore is about the size of Metro Manila? It doesn't make sense. However, they keep on insisting on this narrative, and that is part of the reason why we have this problem on food supply. Government for the last 27 years neglected the sector. During the time of Secretary Dar, I have a clear conscience in saying Secretary Dar was probably the worst Secretary of Agriculture in the history of the Republic of the Philippines. And you can quote me. And that is why we are here. And I am lingering. I am sorry for my bluntness. But we have to speak with the utmost bluntness during these times. Because we are on dangerous ground. If we try to be very nice to each other and sweep everything under the rug for the sake of being nice, we will end up not solving the problem, and a lot of people will suffer. Good morning to everyone.
Maraming salamat muli kay Attorney Bong. Bumata po si Attorney Bong nung nag-shave na siya ng kanyang balbas. Okay. So our next speaker, so we started with the chicken, now we go to the egg. Our next speaker is Gregorio San Diego. He is the chairman of the Philippine Egg Bird Association. So may teaser po tayo. If there is an oversupply of eggs, why is it that producers are encountering problems? So the floor is yours, Sir Georgie.
Yung theme ng ating prayer song, pagmamahalan. So, isang mapagmahal na umaga sa atin lahat. Mahal lahat ang agricultural products. Maanghang na. Totoo na. Maanghang na pagmamahal kung ang pag-uusapan natin ng sili. 500 pesos per kilo daw ngayon. Hindi ba maano? Sa usapin po naman ng kung ano nauna, itlog o manok, magkasabay pong nawawala sa mga pamilihan natin ngayon yan. So, kakampi ako kay Bong, siyempre ang DA. Mali ang mga polisiya ng DA, kaya po nagkaganito ang ating kinalalagyan sa ngayon. Ako po ay ang chairman ng United Broiler Raisers Association o UBRA at chairman din po ako ng Philippine Egg Board. Doon po naman sa usapin, sa nabalita na sa news kagabi at other day na may sinasabi ibang mga egg farmers na magiging 15 pesos ang halaga ng itlog, ng bawat isang itlog. Hindi po siguro mangyayari yan kasi pag kinuwenta nyo, ang isang kilo po ng itlog, mga 16 na piraso. So lalabas dyan, 240 pesos ang isang kilo na itlog. Mas mahal pa sa manok. So kaya yung pangamba na iba na mangyayari yan, baka hindi po naman mangyayari sa malapit na hinaharap natin. Ako nga pala po si Gregorio San Diego. At ang mas importante po, ako ay isang broiler farmer, egg farmer, dairy farmer at hog farmer. Magandang umaga po muli sa inyo lahat.
Salamat Ka Joji. Sabi nyo nga, itlog ka partner manok. Okay, magpunta naman tayo sa babuyan. Okay, kanina pagmamahalan. Ngayon, pakinggan natin ang pinakamalaking, ang presidente, godfather, ng pinakamalaking organisasyon ng mga magbababoy. He founded the biggest organization pro-pork. At siya ngayon ay director natin sa Philippine Chamber of Agriculture and Food Incorporated. Madalas din po itong nai-interview, pero kilala ko tong mamang to. Medyo subdued ito, hindi kagaya ng mga nauna. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our sector champion for hogs, Mr. Edwin Chen.
Thank you, Kuya Doy. Magandang umaga sa ating lahat, no? At yun, I'd like to talk about yung sa hog sector, no? Alam natin yung challenges, no, in the past 3 years, no, nagdaan na tinamaan ng sector ng ASF, no? And because of that, na decimated yung hog population natin. At you know, we have already in the past 2-3 years, no, na-stabilize na yung supply, you know, through yung yung mga members natin, ina-encourage natin na mag-repopulate, no. And you know, in the past 2 years, medyo mabagal yung repopulation. But toward this 2022, medyo nagkaroon ng sigla, no, at lakas na nag-repopulate, no. And so far, we will say that in spite of the ASF challenge, marami na ng members natin at mga ibang sector na nag-repopulate at we're seeing now even up to this point, no, yung presyo ng farm gate price ay very stable, no. Nasa 200 to 210 pesos dito sa Luzon. And sa Vismin ay ganun pa rin dun sa 170 hanggang 190 pesos, no? So if you track sa data ng PSA, yung pork Kasim and pork Liempo, very stable siya, no? Although medyo may kataasan lang because of yung mga challenges natin, no? Tulad ng tumaas yung logistic cost natin. Dati-rate, you know, yung crudo natin ay alam nyo na, no? Nasa 30 plus pesos. Now, nasa almost 90 pesos, no? So yung logistic ay isang real challenges, no? Affecting all sector. Then another thing is yung feed cost natin ay isang bagay na we've seen that you know, yung external factor tulad ng gera sa Russia at Ukraine, no, affected us tremendously because dati in spite you know, medyo yung global logistic disruption, yung shipment medyo na-delay, no. Pero you know, nung wala pang gera, medyo naging optimistic na yung industry, no, dahil you know, we're seeing na parang bababa na yung feed, no. Pero hindi nangyari at lumala pa, no, until siguro magpipik yan hanggang next month, no. And hopefully moving forward toward the end of the year, medyo sana bumaba, no. But ang daming factor na rin pumasok tulad ng foreign exchange, no, na nating nasa 47 lang na yun, nasa 56 na, no? Okay, approaching 56. So these are real challenges that we are facing as a nation, and that's why we are very happy that the new administration, that's a new perspective, no? Hindi nagkaroon ng pagbabago yung sa pananaw. At ang stressing important point is about that we should have a game plan. Dapat may plano tayo. We should have a game plan, no, kung paano natin approach itong problema natin as far as food security and food sufficiency is concerned. Okay? Dahil maraming factor na hindi natin kontrolado, pero kung may plano tayo, kung may pag-uusap at you know, between government and private sector, may lakas tayo. Okay? Kung wala yung plano at kung ang plano ay doon lang sa gusto nilang kausapin, medyo parang parang mahina ang dating. Okay? So we really welcome this new perspective and this new administration ni President Bongbong Marcos At concurrent being the Secretary of Agriculture, alam natin ang prioridad niya ay dito sa food production. And now we are here ready to do our part, no, as the private sector at producer to encourage all our members and across all agricultural products na magtanim tayo, mag-produce tayo, no? Pag-usapan natin yung problema at hahanap tayo ng solusyon. And I'm sure kaya natin 'to. Okay, kaya natin. And yung the whole supply chain is very important. Hindi lang doon sa pag-aalaga ng baboy, but kung saan natin kukunin yung feeds, saan natin dadalhin yung produkto natin at paano natin ititinda sa merkado. All of this has to be taken into account. No? We have heard President Bongbong Marcos talk about that. No? And we're ready to work with his administration to make it work. Okay? Dahil if he failed, tayo ang kawawa, di ba? So we're here, we're putting our everything in this administration to help him make it happen. And so far, during this season, medyo may tag-ulan na, we're seeing the pigs are growing faster, okay? And that's why may kunting softening yung farm gate prices namin. But of course, seasonality lang ito. And you will see walang shortage ang pork sa palengke, sa merkado, even sa HRI, no? Walang shortage, no? We have ample supply even towards the end of the year. So I don't see any problem dito. Ang kailangan lang is yung capacity natin, palakihan natin, padamihin natin yung inahin natin, which before is 1.7 million sow. Now it's down to less than 1 million. No? So nasa 900 plus thousand ang inahin natin. So we still have a big number to cover. Slowly but surely, tumataas yung numero na yon. Okay? More and more farmers, more and more pork producers, with this new administration, we'll seeing a renewed hope, no, na may pagbabago. Okay? And yung medyo mataas na presyo sa farm gate price ay gawa ng maraming factor. Hindi niyo pwedeng sisihin ang producer. Okay? A lot of things are beyond our control. We are making good use of whatever resources we have, no? And in spite na kahit walang bakuna, okay, we are thriving, okay? We know how to deal with the ASF now. Okay? Kasi ang ASF ay isang virus na medyo mabigat, no? Hindi siya lumilipad, no? It's more like kung may ano doon, iwasan lang. Okay? So we're dealing with that. We're putting our farms in isolated places. We're not letting the biyahero go to our farm. Nakakaroon na kami ng mga hustling area. So these are things that we have done and it's successful, no? So although nag-spread pa yon, disease na yon, pero I'm sure we will be able to conquer it, no? Okay. And yung vaccine, no? May vaccine na reported na trial. Although I cannot disclose already kung ano yung resulta, but I'm sure there are things that need to be adjusted and corrected as we move forward. Hindi ganun kabilis. Itong bakuna na ito, will be, pagtuunan natin ng tulong-tulong natin, it will come to a reality one day. But we put that aside. Hindi namin inaantay yung bakuna. Kahit walang bakuna, mag-expand tayo. Kahit walang bakuna, magre-repopulate tayo dahil kailangan natin. We cannot depend on imports lang. Okay, so that's our stand. No? So we're ready to work with the new administration. Yung mga nabanggit na mga ibang kasamahan natin, sana maitupad ng ating present administration. At at magtatagumpay tayo. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Edwin Chen. Sabi ko sa inyo malumanay yung mama and you have to thank him dissecting yung statements niya. Bakit nangyayari? Ito dahilan. Huwag niyong sisihin ng producer dahil mataas. Dahil mataas din po ang mga ingredients. So, narinig natin manok, baboy, itlog. Meron nung nagvo-volunteer, yung director namin na nasa Malvar, Batangas. He will discuss some items very briefly on rice. Alam naman po natin, sabi nga ni President Danilo Fausto kanina, medyo may kakapusan tayo sa bigas. Okay? But then, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, India, they're holding on to their supply. There will come a time, wala na tayong mabibili sa ibang bansa. So, online itong magdi-discuss sa atin ngayon. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. He's involved in the organic farm, pero he has ideas also on the Masagana 150 or Masagana 200 na upcoming program for rice production. Okay, you have the floor, PCAFI Director Pops.
Salamat po, Doy. I hope, salamat po. Pasensya na ho kayo, narito tayo sa Malvar, Batangas. Una sa lahat ho, ito yung i-discuss ko, hindi lang uto sa akin. Kasama na rin ho dito si President Fausto, yung pong ating si Direct Secretary Panganiban, kasama ko rin dito po, Dr. Prisco Malabanan, si Dr. Rasco ng PAMP, at saka po si Dr. Bien. Kami po yung mga bumuo, at ito po ako lang ho yung kanilang tagasulat. Kaya ito po ang aking pong tatalakayin ay yung transforming the President Ferdinand Edwin Marcos Sr. Masagana 99 to Masagana 200 program under President BBM Jr. So yun po yung nilalaman ito. At maaari po ito ay maging isang formal proposal na isasabit po ng mga grupo na akin po nabanggit. Ngayon, ang una sa lahat po, naniniwala po, sinabi po ni kasamang Bong, kasamang Fausto, na Dani, yan po ay posisyon namin sa PCAFI. Ang gusto ko lang sanang konting-konting lang na sa akin nung palagay, sinabanggit ko kasi si Secretary Sebastian, no? Si Leo Sebastian, sa akin pong palagay, palagay ko po si Secretary Sebastian ay neutral. Hindi po siya neoliberalist, pero siya po ay pro-farmer. Pro-farmer din po. Kaya lang po, yan po mga neoliberalism sa Department of Agriculture ay hindi po naman pakana lahat sa sekretariat. Ang nangingiba po dyan ay yung tinatawag po natin na economic team. So hindi ko na bibigyan ng husgasin ng Pirmin, pero palagay ko po, malapat lang po na makita, balancing po natin ang paniniwala na si Secretary Sebastian ay bilang isang eksperto, hindi lamang sa Pilipinas, kundi sa Vietnam at saka sa internationally, ay neutral po ang posisyon niya, pero siya po ay isang pro-farmer, pro-agriculture advocate, hindi po pro-importation. Okay. Ang sabi po ni President Marcos, we will rely on policy of self-reliance and sufficiency with rationalized and controlled food imports. Hindi po may iwasan yan eh. Even po sinabi ni Paring Dani. Ito po ang problema. Bukod po sa productivity issue, ang magsasaka po are victims. They are victims, yung tinatawag po namin sa economics, na cost price squeeze. Ano pong ibig sabihin nun? Sa pagdating po ng inputs, talo siya. Siya po ay price taker. So, mataas talaga yun. Buying price input to higher price. Pagdating po naman ng price output, price taker din siya. Mababaho naman ang presyo nun. So, yung po yung tinatawag na para po siyang na tinatamaan ng bagyo sa magkabilang pahayag. Isang bagyo, isang drought na sumustuntok sa kanyang sadyang. Ganun po yun. Okay. Ano po ang solusyon? Maglagay muna po tayo. Okay. Sa pang problema, wala siyang access to credit. Kasi nga po, sabi ni President Marcos, nakapokus yung land bank sa commercial banking. They disbanded already their agri-agra network of agrarian and agriculture field offices. Kailangan po mapabalik yun para po bumalik sa mandato ng land bank. Pangapat po, ang mga trader po, ang middlemen, money lenders, sila po ang may control ng agricultural trade. Market power, kontrolado na ng agri-chain, ng logistics, handling, market distribution, and transport services. So dapat po, ito, kagaya po ng PICAFI, kami po gusto namin i-value chain ito in favor of the producers. Okay. Solusyon. Ang amin pong, nabanggit po ni Paring Danny, ni Danny, yung mobilization, hindi lang po 1 trilyon eh. Nung pinumpute ko po ito, base sa 2022, 2021, total loan portfolio ng banking system, umaabot na po ito, tingnan ninyo, ng 3 trilyon. 3 trilyon na po itong agra mandatory loan quota allocation ng banking system to support agriculture and its food security and agro-based industrialization programs. Okay. Ngayon po, isa pa, sabi nga ni Danny, kinakailangan po na agri-insurance loan guarantees to support para po ma-encourage ang bangko na magpahiram. Okay. Meron po si PBBM, kailangan po sa akin pong palagay para makuberan, magkakailangan po ng humigit kumulang sa 100 bilyon para po mapandingan itong masagana 200. Isa lang po ang ibig sabihin ito, from less than 5 tons to 10 tons. Pero ang palagay po namin, yung 8 tons ay easily attainable. Okay. Ano pa yung saan gagaling ang porat po sa LTA, National Tax Allotment? Sabi nga ni Dani, yung sa Gipsaka Law, marami yung pera yan, 43 billion yon. At ngayon po, kinakailangan po ang Presidente i-enforce yung sinatawag ko po na purchase order scheme. Yung mga buyer, direct buyer na. Huwag na natin padaanin sa trader, farmers, and their own association, cooperatives, directly linking with corporate, with government, with supermarket, hypermarket, lahat ng mga institutional buyers under a direct, enforceable purchase order scheme with grades and standardization as to quantity, quality, price, and just
answer na lang. Okay. So we heard the key commodity.
Magpuproduce po tayo
Tito Pabs,
ng 20.
I'm sorry. I have to cut short the presentation.
But can I just, yeah, dali lang.
We're having technical difficulties.
Ilalagay ko lang. You cannot hear me?
I cannot. Okay.
Wala kayong narinig yung mga audience? Sabi mo may problema.
Na-capture na namin, Tito Pabs. Na-capture na namin yung gist mo.
Okay. So, ang mangyayari lang dyan, mga 60,000 lang ang cost of production. We will produce 200 kabans. 100,000 per hectare po yan. Yung technology na amin po pigsama-sama. Yun.
Isa na yung sarili niyo ng kalma.
Ngayon, last point na lang, Doy. Give me the last point.
Okay.
How do we respond? Last point, Doy. How do we respond to the immediate need for more than 500 tons of rice? Ang suggestion ko po, ako po ay member ng Philippine-Cambodia Business Council ng PCCI. Ang suggestion ko po, let us import directly 1 million metric tons from Cambodia. Palay po ang importin natin para i-meal po natin 650,000 tons, magiging rice, 350,000 tons, yung sinasabi ng Joji Livestock Industry, magiging pong rice bran, saka yung mga binlaid, broken grains, at magkakaroon po tayo ng trabaho para doon sa mga millers po. Kaya po ang akin, that is doable, na pwede po through PITC or through public-private partnership. Salamat po and good day.
Thank you. Ganito po, Director Pabs, Viber mo na lang sa akin yung gist. Papamigay ko po sa media friends natin. Okay po? Kasi nagkakaroon lang ako ng technical difficulties on the sound. Maraming salamat po. That is the Pablito Villegas, our acting treasurer of our chamber. Okay? Thank you very much. At this point, we now go to the open forum portion. Mics have been distributed to the media friends. Konting house rule lang po. Number 1, as you get hold of your microphone, state your name and your unit, your corporate unit, your media outfit for records purposes po ito. Okay? And then identify whom you want your query to particularly answer. All right? So may I have the show of hands? Who wants to go first? Okay, Jasper? All right.
Good morning po, sir. Mga Sir Jasper Calas from Business Mirror. Sir, regarding lang sa proposal natin to declare state of emergency or calamity, can you share anything about sa reception ni President about this proposal? Ano ang reaction niya about this? Pag-aaralan niya po ba or anything based on your meeting with him yesterday?
Thank you, Jasper. Actually, lahat nung may kopya ka nung listahan nung sinabit mo. Ayos lahat sa kanya yan eh. I think we requested na yung legal team niya to review this dahil may mga sensitivities siya because it involves local government units. May politika yan, no, Jasper? So, but that's the only way. And he realized that. Tatango-tango siya. No, sinasabi ko, ganito. Hindi nyo pwedeng pakialaman yung IRA. Dahil yung local government units, may mga sanggunian yan eh. May ordinansa sila. Pag pinasa ng sanggunian, in-approve ng mayor, hindi mo na pwedeng pakialaman yan. That's sa autonomy ng local government. So in order to do that, we need an intervention from the government para to make sure, hindi naman sinasabi natin ng local government units hindi tutulong sa agriculture. But just to make sure, because you'll see that hindi naman lahat ng local government units agricultural. May mga urban centers tayo. So they really have to study that. But the bottom line is the president, in order to mobilize resources, has to need to tap that resource that was given to the local government units. Hindi naman natin sinasabing lahat. A certain percent, a portion of that Mandanas-Garcia ruling, and then make sure that yung local government concerned, the money will be used also in that locality, in his own, so that is what we, and excited siya doon, but as I said, may mga konting complication, easy lang. He's very cautious. I was impressed dahil hindi siya bigla-bigla, pag-aaralan niya at lahat ng binigay naman natin, sabi niya, this is how it should be done, sabi niya. No? In general, this is how it should be done. But yung mga bagay has to be carefully studied and but he understand the urgency. But as I said, ulitin ko na lang, no, may konting politika, may legality. So I hope that answers the question, Jasper.
Or just safe to say, sir, no, pag-aaralan ng legal team, how they can do about it.
I suppose so, yeah.
And then lastly, sir, dun sa Field Guarantee Corp Directive, ano bang possible nito, sir? Should be an EO din po ba ito na directing the Field Guarantee Corp?
Well, it's under the Department of Finance, ang chairman ng Field Guarantee Corporation. It could come from the President to the Department of Finance and perhaps it could be an administrative order or executive order or a phone call telling the President of Philippine Guarantee Corporation, hoy, bakit 500 million lang yan? 207 ang ginaranti mo. Bakit nasa 203 billion nasa real estate? Partihan mo naman yung agriculture para makautang. Tulungan mong makautang yung mga tao. That is a responsibility. Akong Secretary of Agriculture. Yun yan. It can come in other form. Just a phone call will do that.
Sir, last na lang talaga nalimutan ko lang itanong. Sir, may in a recent interview, sinabi ni Finance Secretary Jokno that the LGU should really allocate funds for agriculture given the Mandanas ruling. Any reaction to that? Are you seeing that even the policymakers right now are seeing that the importance of that allocation?
Yes. Binanggit ko kasi nung nakaraan, we are worried because Secretary Jokno made the pronouncement of his priorities. Infrastructure, education, and health. Sabi ko, nasaan yung food? Nasaan yung food? Ang dami niyang hawak. Philippine Guarantee Corporation, Philippine Crop Insurance Corporation, is handling the Coconut Levy Fund, even the tobacco excise tax, the land bank, the DBP, lahat ng pera, hawak ng finance. Tapos wala sa priority niya pagkain. Paano gagawin mo doon? So we are airing that concern. And I hope Secretary Jokno already changed his mind because his boss is the Secretary of Agriculture. And he doesn't like to fund, he will not fund his boss. Nasa sa kanilang dalawa na mag-usap sila doon.
Any next please?
Shaila Francisco po from TV5. Sir, papa-explain ko lang yung sa state of national emergency, how crucial it is for President Marcos na mag-allocate ng dagdag budget. Hindi na ba kaya makapaghintay ng 2023? And in relation to that, sir, aside from allocating it to production, would you suggest LGUs to allocate ito sa mga subsidies?
Yes, as I said earlier, the president cannot touch the IRA. That is the prerogative of the LGU concerned because of the autonomy. Now, if he was saying something like there will be a supplemental budget, dadaan pa sa Kongreso yan eh. Sa December na yan. Patayin na yung kabayo pagdating ng damo. We need to mobilize funds now because when he assumed office in July, the treasury is empty. He needs to mobilize funds, and we need to his innovations and some investment banking, merchant banking system to be able to mobilize these funds. Fortunately, medyo may alam tayong konti doon. Kaya I suggested some ways on how to go about it and to protect and the future, say we say guarantee. If you securitize, PhilMec and PhilRice are both subsidiary corporations, and I would assume as a corporation they have the authority and in their charter to borrow, and it's just a matter of guaranteeing what they borrow, front loading now what they will receive next year or 2 years from now, and since we are asking for an increase in budget. So pag in-increase natin, double or triple the budget for next year. So yung pondo for next year, hindi maapektuhan yung pangangailangan naman for next year. But the point is, July, this year, this second half, we need to mobilize funds to help the president. So we made some suggestions. It's a suggestion. It's up to him. He has his own financial team and Department of Finance, and he can do that.
Thank you, President Danny. I saw a hand raised from the lady on the others. We have the technical team here to give the microphone. And kindly identify, give your name and your media affiliation.
This question is from Zoom po, ma'am. And we're asking kung ano po yung organization na. But this is the question. What should you do with those people? Louder.
Can you
I'm so
speak
sorry.
louder, please?
What should you do with those people linked to smuggling in importation, and what first step can you take to avoid this in the future? Can I repeat the question?
Please
Okay,
repeat the question and
Alright.
speak slowly so we can understand.
Okay, this is from Mindoro State University, Bongabong campus student. What should you do with those people linked to smuggling and importation, and what first step can you take to avoid this in the future?
Well, we need to see people go to jail. There has to be a sample. Pag hanggat walang nakukulong dyan, tuloy-tuloy lang yan. Every day happy. Kaya gigil si Ka-Ernie na sali kami doon sa first border inspection, private sector, at saka itigil yung smuggling. Papatayin tayo ng smuggling. Papatayin tayo ng smuggling. I don't have to explain further. You know what smuggling will do.
I'd like to add this, and hopefully media will catch it, right? When you complain about smuggling, nothing happens. Maybe there is any hearing and nothing happens, correct? One of my people is under threat of getting killed. Her name is Agnes Balanoy, right? She just told me yesterday is being threatened. Nothing's happening. So if possible, get this in media. The only way that can be solved is if the president himself is into it, because we experienced it twice. Once with Arroyo and once with Pinoy. Okay? And why? Because customs does its own thing. Even finance doesn't look at it. This is what I'm calling, if you catch it on the media, it's called the Oversight Committee on Anti-Smuggling, which means two things. Number one, they meet customs every month. Right now, you complain they're not talking for 1 year. Number two, if they meet every month, they meet the office of the president. Hindi ganyan-ganyan. Surrounded by 4 departments and 2 private sector, one of whom is industry, one of whom is agriculture. Walang lusot doon. We brought it down by 25%. Ulitin natin, ha? Brought it down by 25%, abolish. Brought it down by 31%, abolish. Oh, ano gawin mo ngayon? Daldal na naman, wala nang kukulong. Alam mo, nung tumingin na kanyan, hindi lamang na napigilan yan, talagang they were charged and all that. Because right now, the Senate complains, you think the Senate can fire these people? No, Senate has no power. Legislative lang yan. Executive can do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney. That's Bong. Oh, sige, Bong. Bong, hinay-hinay lang, Bong. Ha?
The question is, what do you do with the people who were named? I think everyone owes these people the chance to defend themselves. There should be a continuation of the Senate investigation. Tapos diinan. Kung ang basa, if the reading is, if the senators or whoever will investigate can smell blood, diinan. Kasi pag diniinan mo, in all likelihood, they will name names because they will defend themselves. Then you can have you will be at a deeper level of investigation. Because if it stops now with these names, ay bitin. You're not solving anything. I think you give these people a chance to defend themselves. In all likelihood, baka magtuturuan, di magpapangalan yan kung sino talaga kung sino yung tingin nilang hindi sila. Because automatic, sasabihin nila, hindi kami may problema, ito may problema. Then you can expand the investigation. That is the usefulness of that Senate report. Yun ang dapat ang makita na you should continue the investigation. Ideally by the senators themselves again. With probably backstop by maybe the NBI. Kasi very serious situation. Otherwise, if you stop there with that report, wala nang follow-up, you are being unfair to those who were named. And the worst case scenario, you may be letting people who are more guilty or the really guilty ones, you're letting them get away.
Thank you. Those are the expected next steps. Let's hear from our agribusiness partner, former Governor Valencia. Sir.
All right. Well, salamat. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank Danny. We met 2 days ago for breakfast. Yung mga nalaman ko kay Danny is really something that I find it to be very, very important and very critical. I came because I believe this chamber could be the number one, could be the number one advisor of the president, especially in food security. This should be the chamber that must support our Pangulo on that because iba kayo iba mga politiko Ito direct, please, no? So, I was asked, by the way, my daughter even want to join me because she's so interested on what we can do because we have an island, 1 million hectare, about 400,000 hectares is agriculture. And it's sleeping, because of many reasons and many problems. So maraming salamat for that. I was asked before, when the president got elected already, to submit a report on problem of housing, human settlement. My line is human settlements. But when I was going over the problem of acute housing problem, housing crisis, I saw immediately na hindi pwedeng wala po doon yung food security crisis. That's got to go one in one together. So we went up to that. Number one, I would like to say that our proposal is on integration of the human settlements focus on housing situation and food security. Number one po doon is finally let us have the honest to goodness National Land Use Act put together so that we could now push forward and finish the comprehensive land use plan. You were mentioning, Danny, about the conversion. Yes, we must be very strict. Kung talagang top na agri ka, hindi ka dapat mag-convert. No? Ang problema po, masyado po mabigat ang problema sa conversion. At maraming masyadong magastos and very corrupt. No? So let us put a stop to that. And finally, i-classify natin na maayos kung ano po ang really first class for agriculture, it's got to be that. No? Anong land use mo for agro, whatever, aquaculture, tourism. So ilan po number one. And of course, yung sa amin, I would like to talk about a little bit about Mindoro. Number one, I think we have one of the biggest advantage of Maine compared to the others. With 400,000 hectares, with a strategic location, we're surrounded by about 36.5 million population. From Calabarzon, from Mimaropa, from our Metro Manila, and partially Aklan and Boracay. We have 36.5 million mouths to feed, and we could be the biggest source of food. No? Before, we used to be the banana king of this country on Saba variety. We used to be the calamansi king of the Philippines, because we're the biggest producer of calamansi. And our rice, the Dinorado, is welcome by everybody. It's supposed to be the best rice. So marami po tayong gagawin. And in fact, I was telling Danny, the chamber, I would like to put time in here and be active somehow, and maybe invite you one day, no, to host your visit to my province, and we'll be happy to have you there for you to see what we can do to help this food situation that we now have. Maraming salamat po. Magandang umaga. And thank you very much. Ernie, salamat po.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor. Former Governor Valencia. Very inspiring kasi speaking from experience, yung Mindoro is well known as a big agriculture producing province and region. No? The lady in maroon, the gentleman in maroon, sir.
Hi sir, magandang tanghali. Nais ko lang po malaman yung side ng chamber doon po sa aim ni President Bongbong Marcos to lower the prices of rice to 20 pesos per kilo. Possible po ba yun, sir?
May I address that? It cannot be done immediately. But I think it can be done. Ang sabi ko sa kanya, Mr. President, let's subsidize the input and not the output. Kasi kung aayaan mo ang NFA, bibili ng mataas, bebenta ng mababa para ma-reach lang yung 20 pesos per kilo, medyo mabigat sa bulsa yan ng national government. So if the standard acceptable income of a farmer per hectare is about 35,000 to 40,000 per harvest. Okay na sila dyan. That means that will give them something like 10,000 a month. Nakita, no? Kung 40,000 pesos ang harvest niya, ang kita niya sa isang harvest, that will be something like 8 pesos per kilo neto niya. Or 7 to 8 pesos, okay na siya. Now, if you're talking about 5 tons o 5,000 kilos ang yield, kung ang yield mo ay 8,000, say 150 kabans or 200 kabans, madodoble yun. Yung kita niyang yun. Now, why am I saying this? So, kung ganun ang goal mo, dahil nasa RCEP naman, yung funds, libre yung, bibigay mo ng mahusay yung mechanization. So, ang cost ng mechanization, 7,500, nasa 12,500. Kung isa-subsidize mo yung fertilizer, ngayon, ang presyo ng fertilizer, baka mag-average ka, pa isang hektarya, nasa 18,000, no? 18,000. Kung may subsidize mo, say 9,000. No? Kung magiging cost mo, because of the subsidy on seedlings, o mechanization, kasi yung seedlings, given na yan sa RCEP. So, seedlings, yung seeds, yung mechanization, yung harvesting, and subsidized fertilizer. So, magko-cost lang siya. Maliit. Pag nababa mo ng 8 pesos o 5 pesos per kilo yan, pwede ka na magbenta ng bigas sa 16 pesos. Kasi kung dodoblihin mo yan dahil 50% bigas, pampalay. Okay? So, bigyan mo ng 4 na piso yung trader. 20 pesos. Siyempre, you have to implement yan. Kung mag-triple cropping ka pa, yung 40,000 pesos nakita ng farmer per hectare, nag-average siya ng 1.2 to 1.5 hectares. Okay na siya. Para ka ng may minimum wage. Nasa farm ka wala ka namang gasto sa sasakyan, wala ka namang coffee, kapihan na ganito, hindi ka naman nagkakagasto sa jeep at saka MRT, nadudong ka lang Ang sasakyan mo doon, kalabaw Naglalakad ka lang doon, nasa bukid ka lang. Ang gastos mo lang doon, yung isabong tsaka tongit. Yun lang ang gastos mo doon. Kung hindi ka gagawa ng ganon, palagay ko, pwede na. So, achievable, MJ. Pwede. Pero you have to work on it. Kaya ang proposal namin is triple cropping. Pilitin natin triple cropping. May mga challenges sa triple cropping. Alam natin yon. But it can be done. Kasi ginawa sa ibang bansa Pag nag-triple cropping ka, hindi na natin kailangan. Sufficient na tayo sa palay. It's a goal. So let's have a goal. Makuha natin yung 50%. Okay pa rin tayo. Di ba? Yun lang ang aking masasabi. Okay lang tayo doon sa 20 pesos pero hindi ngayon, not immediate.
Sir, follow up lang, same topic. 63% of Filipinos na nag-join po sa Publicos Asia survey recently supports the call to repeal the rice tariffication law. Ano pong side ng chamber dyan? 63% po sir ng Publicos Asia survey ng mga nag-join wants to repeal the rice tariffication law.
The rice tariffication law is a good law. Ang problema lang doon yung implementation. Ang tinitingnan natin dyan, unang-una, 3 taon na lang natitira dyan. Sinabi ko sa presidente kahapon, Boss, 6 na taong ka. 3 years na lang yung RTL. First 3 years mo, okay ka. The next 3 years mo, may problema tayo. By that time, wala ka ng tariff na makukuha, wala ka ng RCEP. Kailangan mo i-extend. Number 2, pwede ba gawin natin flexible yung use ng pera? Kasi binigyan mo ng pera yung mechanization. Binigyan mo ng pera yung seeds. Hindi mo binigyan ng pera yung tubig at pataba. Paano ka magpapatubo ng crops kung wala kang tubig at pataba? So, flexible lang. Hahanap mo pa ng iba. Naiwanan mo pa yung corn. Siyempre, rice tariffication law, rice, no? Quantitative restriction lang naman ang pinag-uusapan doon. Pagka tayo yung sufficiente sa palay o sa rice, wala na mag-i-import. Lalo na kung mababa ang cost of production mo at saka merkado. Ba't kapag i-import? Yun naman ang laban. Demand and supply yan. Prices Ganun naman ang pinag-uusapan. I hope that answers your question, MJ.
I think we have questions from Zoom. Kindly read the questions from Zoom and then we'll proceed again to the questions from the media.
All right, we have a question from Mr. Roger Navarro from Phil Mais Federation. We'll put him on spotlight po.
Roger, you're
Hi, Sir
on
Roger.
board na. Roger.
Yeah, maraming salamat po. Congratulations sa lahat. Sorry po, hindi tayo makapunta dyan. At ang spirit natin nandyan sa lahat. No? Congratulations. Anyway, maganda yung mga mungkahi ng ating mga kaibigan dyan. At sana po talagang tuloy-tuloy na tayo at madidevelop na talaga natin yung local agriculture natin. Isa lang pong clarification po doon sa parte ng mais po. No? Kasi for several times kasi po, sinasabi talaga yan, lalo na nandyan si Edwin sa PAPMI, sabi ni Danny kanina, go na daw sila ni Edwin. Nung sabi din ni Secretary Piñol sa anong araw, maganda ang harvest ng mais, go na rin si Ramon Ang sa SMC. You know, all of these people are there to buy for themselves. They're not there, sabi nga, for charity. No? So the other thing there, of course, sa ngayon, ang sinasabi ni Danny kasi mayroon tayong barangay mini industrial park. Maganda yun kasi parang small brother, big brother. But you must remember kung ano ang dent noon. Substantiate natin po. Kasi po, ang harvest natin in a year, sa yellow po, umaabot tayo ng almost 5 million. Let's say lang, for example, 5 million po a year. First cropping po, 3 million a year po. Mayroon ba tayong bodega para sa 3 million a year or a first cropping? Ang capacity po ng PAPMI, 40 sila po. Siguro nasa mga 100,000 siguro sila metric tons po. Ang capacity ng NFP po, mga 100 tons din siguro po. Ang capacity ng private sector, sasabihin na lang natin na mga 300 or 200. Ilan lang yung porsyento sa harvest mo. Plus po, kung mag-i-import sila, siyempre ang ilalagay nila sa mga bodega nila, ang mga imported products nila po. Kaya po, nagkaroon ng displacement, bumabagsak yung presyo po. So, in other words, let us all calibrate all this, harmonize our approach, kasi gusto natin po system approach. Kung system approach kasi, ito ay nag-organize, nag-harmonize ng ibang elements along the value chain po para hindi magkaroon ng tinatawag nating undecided na mga faults along the way. Kaya po, wag lang tayong motherhood po. Sana po, lalagyan lang natin ng kunting diin po ang ating mga sektor para hindi tayo magbibigay ng false hopes at saka promises po na nandito na. No? So we are there one with you, but please, i-refrain natin yung mga parang motherhood statement na okay na tayo, mayroon na tayong buyer. Pagkatapos pagdating ng fourth quarter po, fourth quarter, mind you, we will talk again, fourth quarter, anong nangyari po. So maraming salamat po, maraming salamat po.
Are there other questions from the media? I saw
Hello.
2 hands earlier.
Another comment from Zoom, from Sir Ruben from Davao. As a processor and exporters organization, PhilFoodX, we need support also from the new government, especially on productivity and competitiveness on raw materials and packaging materials. We hope also that exporters should be free of 12% VAT. That's his comment po.
Yes, we will take note of that zoomed-in question. I believe it's from Mr. Rubensi, the president of PhilFoodX. Ang ano nila, President, is the 12% VAT and market access issues.
Yung comment ni Roger is on the market. Because the market primarily is the Philippine Association of Feed Millers. I hope you don't mind, Edwin. Baka nag-usap kami, pagka maayos yung usapan, sabi niya, call. Kasi 9 million to 10 million metric tons ang requirement nilang ng mais. Ang pinoproduce nila, Roger, 5 million. Okay? Kung madadagdagan pa nila yan, sabi ko si Roger, kaya mo ba hanggang 80%? Itaas mo. From 57% sufficiency level ka ngayon, pwede ba natin maitaas? Siguraduhin lang may pupuntahan yung mais namin. Kailangan naman ng feed millers yung mais nila eh. Can we get your, Edwin, konting lang, para assurance lang na kailangan nyo talaga mais.
Okay. On behalf of Philippine Association of Feed Millers Incorporated, PAFMI. Hello. Okay. Here's the data. If you know, as mentioned kanina, na around 5 million metric tons are being produced locally. Kami naman sa feed millers, as much as possible, definitely we will support the local industry. If you check the records, ang total importation ng feed wheat is around 2.5 to 2.7 million metric tons. Then may imported corn. Imported corn around 500 to 750,000 metric tons per year. So in short, what we're saying is there's really a shortage. Okay, what is important is we just have to put the safety nets that during harvest, ganito, walang pwedeng magparating. And at the same time, if we want to grow the industry, that is the total requirement. But how do we move from, let's say, 53 or 57% sufficiency to around 70? So gradual talaga yon. And second is like, for example, feed wheat. Feed wheat is being used sa aqua. And we don't grow feed wheat naman. So in totality lang is, let's check the numbers with regards to importation and we will support as feed millers. Yun lang.
Yeah. Can I answer that? Can I Pwede ba tayong magsalita?
You may react.
Yeah. Anyway, maganda yon, Edwin. No? Alam naman natin talaga yon. Ang problema nga, ang sinasabi natin, yung capacity ng warehouse na mag-a-absorb noon. Kasi po, yung first quarter, first cropping harvest mo po, gagamitin po yon in the next 5 or 7 months. In other words, magpo-crossover yon sa dry season crop po. So, ang estimate lang ng bodega capacity ninyo ngayon po, maliit po yun. So, kaya po sinasabi namin, yung sinasabi kasi ni President Danny doon sa sinasabi nating mini agriculture centers, maganda nga yun kasi nakakadagdag yon sa ating storage po. No? Pero kailangan pa rin natin yung big brother na storage facility po. Kasi po, hindi kakasya po. No, kasi meron tayong sinasabi na storage tapos marketing period po. Hindi mo kasi ma-store yung ating mais dito like other countries po. Kasi po mayroon tayong wheat season crop, dry season crop po. So kailangan natin, for example, ang Mindanao, iba din ang marketing period, iba din ang marketing period ng Luzon po. Sa ngayon po, hindi na observe yan, lalo na ng NFA ang naging rice-centric po, na hindi sila magbibili ng mais po. No? So nasa rice lang sila. Ngayon po, yung capacity nila all over the country po is 60,000 metric tons lang po. No? So nag-harvest ka ng wheat season crop na 3 million metric tons. Saan mo ilagay po? Tapos kung mayroon kayong harvest, mayroon kayong importation, so saan natin ilalagay yon? Kaya yun lang naman ang inaano ko. Kailangan natin, sinasabi mo kanina, yung numero, titingnan natin yung numero, sir. Huwag lang yung mga motherhood statement. Kasi po, kawawa po talaga ang farmer for so long a time po. Kasi po, gusto ninyo ang mura ng mais. Gusto ninyo ang import tariff. Kailangan mababa. Kasi gusto ninyo, kayo lang mabuhay po. Ang mais po, na farmer po, kawawa po. No? Matagal na ito, sir, hindi lang ngayon. Siguro ngayon lang tayo nagkakilala, pero matagal na rin ako dito po, sir. Kaya kailangan natin run natin yung numero, sir, para malaman natin lahat. Huwag lang yung motherhood statement. Maraming salamat po, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Roger. Anyway, ang PhilMais naman, with Roger representing them, at saka si Rod Bioco, at nandito si Edwin, pareho naman kaming member ng chamber. We will oversee this and synchronize. Let's synchronize. Let's work together with government. Sabihin natin sa gobyerno kung kulang tayo at perhaps financing or kung sino man mamumuhunan dyan. And we can work together. The best thing that happens now, the feed millers now are with us and the corn producers are with us. Now we can talk and over a cup of coffee. Pagpunta mo rito sa Manila, Roger, magkapit tayo ni Edwin. Ayusin natin at ng magandang buhay nating lahat. Okay?
Thank you very much. There are 2 more questions, one from Zoom and one from our media friend. So can we have first the question from Zoom and then from the media? Question na. Pakibasa na lang. Sige po.
Hello.
Okay, this is from a private citizen po, si Ms. Clemen Lorica. Sino po ba ang pwedeng mag-provide ng bodega sa mga farmers? Ano pong department kaya?
DA yan eh. Kailangan ng pera, but hindi kaya ng gobyerno lahat yan. Kailangan natin meron tayong warehousing, kailangan natin yung logistics and so on. That's financing ang kailangan niya. Private sector has to come in. And those that will benefit from it, I think should participate. And since there is a need, there's a business opportunity, it's a good thing to think about it and look at these probable ventures. Si Ibong, may sabihin.
Ang importante kasi change din ng mindset about looking at about investing. Yung gobyerno investing in warehouses, yung agri-infra. Kasi tinatrato kasi na commercial, kaya laging sinasabi it has to be viable. But we need a new way of looking at agri-infra. It should be in the same category as a road, as a bridge, na hindi mo hahanapan ng ROI. Otherwise, kung hahanapan mo ng ROI lahat, hanapan mo yung buong gobyerno ng ROI, magkakatalo yan. Kaya you need to change, we all need to change the way we view. Yes, thank you ma'am, social infrastructure. Otherwise, kung hahanapan mo lagi ng ROI, pass your paper na tayo. Mag-import na lang tayo.
Thank you. Okay. So, simple lang. Binigkas ni Pangulong BBM, Secretary BBM, value chain. Kasama po yan. So, yung tanong sa Zoom na infrastructure, storage facility, dapat to, nasa lineup of infrastructure support yan. Next! Joji.
Hindi, comment ko lang. Ang ini-encourage kasi ng DA naka-attend na kami sa meeting, they called storage for meat. Hindi naman kaya nahandun yung baya sa imports. Ang ini-encourage nila, magtayo yung mga businessmen ng cold storage facilities. And this will cater to the imported meat.
Okay, noted. Okay, from media, please. And then, finally, kay Tom Medina. Media muna, media.
Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Paige Javier of CNN Philippines. My question is for Sir Inciong. Gaano kadami po ba yung kulang na estimate dun sa chicken supply? And when do you expect things to normalize po, sir? Thank you.
You know, in a normal country, hindi dapat ako magsasabi niyan because I am industry. We are biased. The mere fact that you have to ask me that question and not the Department of Agriculture, it should give you an idea already on how big a mess we are in. Kasi may bias ako. Of course, what I can tell you is when you compare it to 2020, we're down. When you compare the situation to the 2020 production intentions, we are down by 30%. But as to the exact number, I cannot bubulahin kita if I spew a figure. Normally, in a normal country, it should be the Department of Agriculture who should be telling everyone, ito ang tingin namin. And they are supposed to be the more objective unit. But based on the pronouncements of, I think in a column of Undersecretary Adriano, in an enumeration of the sufficiency levels of the different commodities, we were at 95 or 97%. Right now, what is lacking, hindi yung sa heads more on the tonnage. Kasi the problem is in the size of the chickens. As I said earlier, if you analyze the problem based on the standards of 2003, we do not have a shortage. But if you expand your standards, if you go to a higher standard, given the challenges of the situation, as I stated earlier, it is more prudent to assume that we have a shortage overall, so that government will not be complacent. Kasi pag sinabi ko na pag gumanda ang klima, gumanda ang feeds, okay na tayo, that would be a mistake. Because we will not be changing the strategic direction of the situation. I hope I helped or more or less replied correctly or in the proper direction.
Go. Magano lang ako sa iyo.
Mr. San Diego will also reply.
Pitch, I would like to answer part of your problem. I would like to cite some numbers. Because of the lack of confidence ng industry sa policies at saka sa direction ng DA, even the big companies who are producing their old chicks turned conservative. To the point na partially dependent yung kanilang pagpuproduce ng sisiw through the importation of hatching eggs. So here are the numbers. Ano. Last year, up to July, ang na-import natin na hatching egg, 16,593,200 pieces. This year, up to the same period of time, up to July, ang nai-import pa lang natin is 742,660 pieces of hatching egg. So that is a difference of around 15,850,000 hatching eggs na po pwedeng maging sisib. So dun sa anggulo na yon, kulang talaga yung pinoproduce nitong taon na ito.
Malaking problema yon, yung hatching eggs, ang sikreto ng manok. Kaya tayo walang manok. Pag walang sisi, wala kang manok. So 15 million yung dati nating in-import. Ang pumasok lang ngayon, 700 plus thousand. Because of avian influence. Meron tayo ngayong enterovirus pa, no? Enterovirus, IBH. So, malaki talaga problema natin, lalo na yung ating biosecurity. Wala tayong quarantine na papasok. Mr. Sudoy, let's have 2 or 3 more. Bigyan natin ng priority yung mga kasama natin sa media.
Hi, good morning everyone. I'm Tomas Medina of the Philippine Export Service Providers and Consolidators Association and also the Organic Coconut Association of the Philippines. While rice and the other called poultry and hog was being raised and eggs, I would like to raise the issue of sugar because I think the shortage of sugar next month is so critical to a lot of products, as we know, because most of the products that we have have already inputs of sugar. And for us exporters, we are already experiencing triple whammy, no, because of the high cost of sugar, and then of course the shipping cost, and of course the 12% VAT added that the CREATE law has done. And this has been acknowledged by Yusek Dakila of the DOF, that they forgot that the Filipinos abroad, which account to about 13 million, plus the extended consumers of our products in the mainstream markets, will now not buy Filipino products simply because they will find it 12% more expensive already from the base price. So ang sa amin po is we would like to know how the sugar issue, the shipping which we have been raising to DTI and to the Department of Transportation, na kung maaari i-level up na sa level ng ASEAN, because without this shipping cost coming down, you know, from our major revenue streams from tuna, coconut, pineapple, and bananas, we are already losing the market simply because the prices of our products are affected by the logistics cost. And without us producing the packaging and an expensive sugar, this will not only affect the local industries, but especially also the development of the markets that we could have, no? So while we are talking about food security, I think sugar is incremental to it. The cost of logistics, whether local or international, is very critical as well. And then, yung the other inputs, just like what was mentioned by our president kanina sa PhilFoodX, sabi ni Ruben, he has raised the issue of packaging. It's time, you know, the cost of packaging in the Philippines is 70% higher than what we buy from overseas, no? And the lead times are a lot longer, 4 times longer than the local packagings produced in the Philippines. So, ito po sana yung hinihiling namin sa PICAFI. That's why we're here, to lobby about these issues which are affecting already a lot of the exporters. And when the exporters are affected, especially kami pong mga consolidators, then you will see a lot of the MSMEs who rely part of their sales for the overseas Filipino workers and immigrants reduced down, if not close shop. So, yan lang po.
Thank you, Tom. Very timely, no, yung points raised by Tom. Yes, we pay in comparison sa food exports in ASEAN, no? So it's saddening talaga. So thank you, Tom Medina. We take note of your concerns and rest assured, PICAFI will be forwarding this to concerned agencies. And last query from media. Can I see your hand? Who else? Mike, please.
Hello, hello.
Media.
I would just like to add first, if we have another question from media, I fully support what Tom said because I'm also with the technical working group of Arise Plus Philippines, which is both with the EU and the ASEAN and the International Trade Center. And one of the issues, the main issues, especially for food exports, is the high cost of logistics, up to 7 times. So it is not just about the raw materials, but the actual cost of exporting and the delays caused by the different travel restrictions because of the pandemic. So maybe we can discuss that later. Any other question, final question from the media?
Philip Yang. Zoom yun eh, Zoom.
Yes, I just would like to add to the logistic issue. No? Not only that we are paying 5 to 6 times from the previous freight cost, we are now lagging among our ASEAN neighbors. Thailand is paying 20 to 25% lower than what we are paying because we have a lower volume of export. And we are the least priority now of the shipping lines, and some of the routes are being bypassed. So we have to wait until the ship will pass by the Philippines and will pick up our cargo. So that's a very serious concern.
Okay, we take note, Mr. Philip Yang from the...
Before I forget, because I'm with OCAP, UCAP, and the Coconut Association, and I myself is an active trader and producer. So, hiling ko lang po sana, because we're talking about the coconut levy. The coconut levy is something that I hope the farmers can finally utilize, just like what the PCAFI is advocating for mini industrial zones. No? There have been experiments already of investments up to 60 million, which has failed already in Misamis Oriental, Misamis Oriental. But my point is, sana po matulungan niyo yung aming tumatanda na mamatay at hindi na productive na coconut trees. If it's 25 million farmers counting their livelihood on the coconut farms, I for one, as a second or third generation one of coconut marketing people and producers, I would like to ask the government to please help our coconut farmers. Kami po talagang apektado na now most of the big factories do not have production for 3 to 4 days a week. Ganun na po kalaking effect. Our prices are 20% below cost. To produce desiccated coconut, you have to be at least $1.05 per pound. We are now selling at 85 to 90 cents per pound. So, ganyan na po kababa yung presyo. Ang VCO po dapat nasa $4. We're now liquidating at $283. Kawawa na po yung VCOP members namin. So, I would just like to appeal to everyone na kung ang Indonesia po is 250 to 300 nuts per tree per year against our 47 nuts per tree per year and Brazil's 400, baka naman po pwede nyo kaming tulungan kasi kami sa export ready kami. Kaya lang talagang the logistics costs right now from Africa and from South America are killing us. Being a consultant to the International Trade Center of Switzerland, we have found out that this cost will really affect, and it's already affected the Philippines. Not to mention the fluctuation of the dollar versus the Sri Lankan currency.
Thank you. Okay, at this point, let's move on to the final portion of our program. Let's hear the closing statements of our President, Danilo Fausto.
Thank you, Doy. Thank you sa inyong lahat. I'd like to... This is a maiden episode of PCAFIhan. And this will not happen without the media. And I'd like to invite all of you again, first Friday of next month, para pag-usapan uli natin mas ano. I hope you agreed with me, you will agree with me that masyadong rich yung usapan dito. Now, we are all here if you want to ask details for your reports because ang deadline nyo naman nasa 1:30 yata, no? 2 o'clock this afternoon. We are here to answer your questions. This is a PCAFIhan, so kape. Pero kayo, media, I'd like to extend my personal invitation. We can have lunch together, and I'll be on me. And if you have questions to our yan ang kabutihan ng chamber. We are all here. We are overseeing everyone. Each one of us has a different industry to represent. So, may interesado kayong industry sector, you just let us know and we are here. And dun sa within our sector, our chamber, ayusin namin yung mga issues ng mais at saka feed millers, pwedeng ayusin yan. Ganon din siguro yung problema kaya yung exporters, napakalaking bagay, mga champion natin yan, mga heroes natin yan. Kailangan, napakalaki ng trade imbalance natin. Kailangan natin tulungan yung mga sila Tom, yung grupo nito, matito ni Philip. So, on that note, we are adjourning this, but you have a resolution? Wala, no more. After this, we will have a resolution or something. They told me now. Members, now, as I said, I'd like to extend my invitation if you're not doing anything else, especially the media. Media lang, ha? Kondayo. Salamat sa pagpunta nyo, MJ, si Shaila? Shaila. Of course, ang barkada ko si Jasper. Jasper, ito parang ano ko na to eh. Kaungguan ko lagi ito. Jardine, nasa gitna ako ng biyahe. Nandiyan siya lahat. Si Danessa, bago ka rito, pinalitan niya si Catherine Talavera, si Paige Javier. O parang pamangking ko to, si Paige. Ibigang matali ko yung tatay nito, si Butch. Andiyan kasama niya. So, on that note, we now adjourn. We adjourn this PCAFIhan.
Maraming salamat pong muli. Again, ang invitation ni President Danny for the media and our friends here and our guests who came all the way to stay for lunch. Another announcement. Okay, important announcement. Ang Usapang Kawayan, na kapatid ng Usapang Pagkain, ay mangyayari din po dito sa July 29. July 29, also here in Victorinos at the same time. We will extend the details to you. We'll email, we'll send you. Maraming salamat po. At magandang araw sa lahat.